Hello and welcome back to eCBSE online classes. We are continuing the module probability for mathematics class 10th. The specific topic is we're starting the exercise problem set 1. This is part B2 of the video series in this module. Before we get to the exercise problems, let's quickly revisit the definitions of empirical and theoretical probability. The empirical probability P of E of an event E happening is given by the ratio of number of trials in which the event E happened to the total number of trials. So P of E is equal to number of trials in which the event happened divided by the total number of trials. Similarly, the theoretical probability P of E of an event E happening is given by the ratio of number of outcomes favorable to the event E to the total number of all possible outcomes. Notice the keywords here: favorable to the event and all possible. So here P of E is equal to number of outcomes favorable to E divided by number of all possible outcomes. Now let's also quickly recap the key points that we have learned. With some assumptions, the probability can be calculated theoretically. With sufficiently large number of trials, value of empirical probability approaches to that of theoretical probability. Limit n tends to infinity, P of E empirical is equal to P of E theoretical. For example, in the coin tossing example, as your number of trials approaches infinity, the probability of you seeing a head is equal to 0.5, which is also a theoretical probability. Sum of probabilities, both empirical as well as theoretical, of all possible outcomes is always 1. For example, in the coin tossing case, since the outcomes possible are only head and tail, P of head plus P of tail is equal to 1. Similarly, in the die rolling case, the outcomes possible are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So probability of 1 plus P of 2 plus P of 3 plus P of 4 plus P of 5 plus P of 6 is equal to 1. Now let's extend this formula a little bit, like P of E plus P of F plus and so on, P of Z is equal to 1. So let's say your event of interest is E, P of E. The rest of the events are the event E not happening, correct? So the sum of the probability of all other events apart from E, we call that as probability of E not happening, and we denote that as P of E bar. So the equation becomes P of E plus P of E bar is equal to 1. This is always applicable irrespective of your situation. If there is an event E, the probability of E plus probability of E bar is always equal to 1. Okay. So if you rewrite this equation a little bit, P of E bar, that is probability of event E not happening, is equal to 1 minus P of E. Okay, please remember this. And before we go any further, let's quickly look at the extreme cases of probability. The first extreme is for the impossible event. For example, the event is not possible at all. So then we say that the probability of that event is equal to 0. Second extreme is probability of a certain event. That means that is the only event possible. So probability of certain event is equal to 1. So all other events, the probability will be between these two extreme values. So my probability will be between 0 and 1. So 0 less than or equal to P of E less than or equal to 1. Please remember this point as well. This is very important. Now let's go to the first exercise problem. The problem statement reads like this. A bag contains 3 red balls and 5 black balls. A ball is drawn at random from the bag. What is the probability that the ball drawn is red? And the second question is not red. So there are 3 red balls and 5 black balls. Let's remember the formula of theoretical probability. P of E is equal to number of outcomes favorable to E divided by number of all possible outcomes. Okay, notice the keywords highlighted in yellow font here. So here the event E is the ball picked being red, correct? Now, what are all the possible outcomes? There are 8 balls, right? When you randomly pick one single ball, there are 8 possibilities. So, number of all possible outcomes is equal to 8. So, my denominator is 8. Now, notice the keyword here, drawn at random. What does that signify? It says that you're not looking at the balls. You don't know what ball you are picking. So, all outcomes are equally possible. So, our assumption is all outcomes are equally likely. So, there are 3 red balls. Then what is the number of outcomes favorable to our event E? Our event E is the ball being red, right? So, the number of outcomes favorable to E is equal to 3, which is our numerator. So, the probability of a randomly drawn ball being red is equal to P of red is equal to 3 by 8. Okay. Now, I am calling probability of the ball being red as P of E. Okay. The probability of ball not being red will be P of E bar. Correct. Just a while back we have seen that P of E bar can be calculated as 1 minus P of E. Right. Here P of E is 3 by 8. So 1 minus 3 by 8 becomes 5 by 8. So the probability of randomly drawn ball not being red is 5 by 8. Okay. Also notice here the sum of these two is equal to 1 because those are the only two possible events. It can be either red or non-red, correct? Now let's go to the next exercise problem. The problem statements read like this. When two dice are rolled together, what is the probability that the total of the two is 7? Okay, for sake of distinguishing, I am taking two different colored dice here, black and red. And let us recall our formula for theoretical probability. P of E is equal to number of outcomes favorable to E divided by number of all possible outcomes. Now, let us write all the possibilities for dice 1. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? Now, let's write the possibilities of dice 2. Again, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? So, when the dice is showing as 1, there are 6 different possibilities of dice 2, right? That is, it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. So, there are 6 possibilities when the dice 1 is 1, correct? Similarly, there are 6 more possibilities when the first dice is 2. And when the first dice is 3, again there are 6 possibilities. There are 6 more possibilities when the dice 1 is 4. Again the same for dice 5. Dice 1 is 5 and dice 1 is 6. There are 6 more. So there are total 36 possible outcomes. So the number of all possible outcomes is equal to 6 into 6, that is 36. So my denominator is already calculated here. That is 36. Now, my assumption here is all outcomes are equally likely, correct? Because there is no bias in the dice. I am assuming that it's a fair dice and there is no single outcome being any better possible than the other outcome. So all these are equally likely. Now let us define the event E. What is asked in the problem? The total of 2 dice being 7. That is my event, right? So let us see what are all the combinations that are giving sum as 7. 6 and 1 are together summing as 7. 5 plus 2 is also 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. 2 plus 5 is 7. 1 plus 6 is also 7. So there are 6 possible outcomes which are favorable to the event E that we have defined. That is the total of 2 dice being 7. So number of outcomes favorable to E is equal to 6. So P of E is equal to numerator is 6, denominator is 36, that is 6 by 36, it becomes 1 by 6. So the answer to the above problem is the probability of 2 dice total being 7 is 1 by 6. Okay. You must have noticed the pattern in solving these problems here. You need to understand the problem and decide what are the all possible outcomes and count those. And next is you define the event E and find out what are the total number of outcomes favorable to that event E. and simply take the ratio of these two. That's all. It's very simple. Okay. Stay tuned. We are going to solve some more fun-filled exercises in the next video. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel eCBSE Online Classes and follow us on Facebook. Thank you for joining.